All right, so this woman here, she is in her car. Yet again, we see a lot of these, don't we? And she's kind of letting everybody know that the men she's matching with on the dating apps are not quite living up to their expectations. And if I had to guess, this is a woman here who kind of wants to fit in with the crowd of women expressing their frustration with the men they encounter on dating apps. But let's see what she has to say, shall we? Let's roll this.
Said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it 3 times, I've said it 100 times. These dating apps are not for the weak. I just got back onto them Monday. It's Friday. I've been called crispy. I've been asked to join a couple in their marriage, and I'm not shaming. You're into what you're into. It's just not my thing, okay? I had a man physically ask me if I've enjoyed my trauma. Huh? Huh? And it's like everybody says, oh, there's plenty of fish in the sea. And it's like, there are plenty of fish in the sea, but there are a very small amount of fish, a very minuscule amount of fish that are for me. All I found so far are clownfish. I can't do it anymore.
Okay, so there's that. So obviously it's ironic, right? Having her talk about the bad options that she has on dating apps when she herself would be considered to not be a favorable option for most men on dating apps. So there's that. And then I would say she has better options for a woman her size than a man would have at her size in terms of actually being able to get a match and going on dates. So she has a lot better than the men do, who are actually her size. So if she were to be a guy looking like that, she thinks it's bad now. Good luck on the other side. But growing up on like Western entertainment, what I noticed is it's super common to see in movies men encouraging women to be heavy eaters. Like we often hear men saying something like, "Finally, a woman who doesn't just order a salad," or like, "I like a woman who can eat," etc. We've seen this type of shit in movies consistently, and then of course this type of man, this type of guy will be encouraged by the "that's a real man" crowd for encouraging the women he sees to eat a lot. Like that type of mindset will be applauded for sure. That type of approach to seeing women will be applauded. Me personally, I like a woman who can eat. Me personally, I don't like when women order salads. That should not be encouraged, honestly. A woman who orders a salad or like is aware to keep her calorie intake at a reasonable amount day in and day out consistently is a good thing. It's like it's not that's not a bad thing. And yet somehow they've been able to just hammer home that women who order salads at dinner is not necessarily a good thing, and men should like women who can really, really eat. Like that's supposed to be some sort of like attractive quality. When in reality, for me at least, an attractive quality is having the self-control to know that if you eat too many calories in one day, every day, you're going to get overweight. So when I see a woman being careful about the food she eats, I like that. I like that a lot, actually, and that's a good thing, and that should be applauded, right? It shows, for one, she doesn't approve of being overweight. She has self-control and probably won't get fat in a relationship, right? She's gonna maintain that physique throughout the whole relationship because she values it. That's a good thing, and we should not demonize that. And it's like this obsession that we see in the West of just be nice, don't hurt anybody's feelings, which, let's be real, usually is adopted by women and liberal males. is something I wish to see gone, banished. And it's not even genuine either. Like, the people who adopt it will only be nice and avoid hurting people's feelings if those people agree with them. Like, how many times have we seen the body positivity people hurl insults regarding to someone's body when these people disagree with them? Like, we hear they hurl insults at like short men, or accuse them of having small D's, or also the people who are like unapologetically in support of homosexuality. They will be quick to call the straight man gay in an attempt to insult him. And so I just, it's bullshit. The things they say they believe in, do they really? Right? Or do they really only believe in those things if you're nice to them? If you don't hurt their feelings with your disagreements, and say, I don't know, maybe you are a little bit more traditionally masculine. Well, that's toxic masculinity to them, of course, so that doesn't really exist. Traditional masculinity, toxic masculinity, to them it's synonymous, right? It's same thing, like men and women, apparently, to them. But like I was saying, right, it's just not genuine. It's all bullshit. It's superficial politics. It's just virtue signaling to fit in with the crowd. It's nonsense, ultimately. But, you know, it's like if someone is, let's say, an alcoholic, and they're drinking too much, and it's affecting their health, their ability to do tasks, etc. That's an alcoholic. And pretty much everyone knows that should not be encouraged, right? But you better believe, like, if there was an alcoholic acceptance movement that got strategically placed with emotional-based arguments to weaponize empathy over about the course of 5 years inside of movies, from celebrities, major influencers, like social media, TV shows, the emotionally hijacked leftists, and even some people who maybe would consider themselves a little bit more right-leaning, they would eventually be hypnotized into thinking we should let alcoholics just do what they want because it makes them happy. And shaming them could lead to them doing self-harm, right? And it's America, and just let people be. Why do you care if they're drinking themselves into oblivion and it's detrimental to their life? If it makes them happy, why do you care? So it's like all it takes is like a massive push of propaganda to really just hijack these people, as long as the arguments are emotional and like I said, weaponize empathy. It's like this type of hands-off approach that we continue to hear. Just why do you care? Let people do what they want. It's like people think this is the American idea, and I just don't necessarily agree, because it's like to just let people destroy themselves, which eventually will start to destroy and decay societies that those people live in, right? And just like, yeah, letting people destroy themselves if they want, removing all stigmas, in my opinion, is not a masculine idea. It's actually, it's like a sign of a lack of cultural masculinity. And the thing is, like, I believe that femininity in itself is a fundamentally good thing. I think I've said that before. But I would say that a balance is needed, of course, with masculinity being the majority, and femininity being the minor, being the minority, which I guess would be a patriarchy, right? I would say that that's probably what a patriarchy is, and I just simply don't think that's in the West. I don't think that's what we see. Quite the opposite, actually, which is why body positivity, all these types of movements have run rampant, is because I don't think that masculinity is the major influence. But, you know, of course, you'll have the leftists and feminists disagree with me on that, and they'll insist there's still a strong, oppressive patriarchy. I just don't see it. I don't agree. And things like this are signs of that lack of masculinity, and that's what it is. But I must say, the masculine influence seems to be making a comeback. At least, I don't know. I'm a bit, what's the word? I'm a bit biased on that because this is what I see every day, and I'm kind of surrounded by the things that I agree with, which, that's just how algorithms tend to work, specifically like YouTube and whatnot. But I have noticed that with shorts, you can kind of break out of the bubble a little bit. And that's when like my content will reach people who don't necessarily already agree with me. And then that's when I get called, incel, misogynist, oh, you're toxic, F-boy, blah, 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 these types of things. But occasionally, my longer videos will hit the people who don't necessarily agree with me, which is fine, which is good, which is ultimately what I want. But like I was saying, I do think the masculine influence seems to be making a comeback, which, of course is a good thing. And I don't believe we have the trad cons to thank for that. Do you? I don't. They've been around for a long time. And somehow things still got to this point. So I don't think we have the trad cons necessarily to thank for it, even though I will say like political commentators on the conservative side have kind of been there for a while and have kind of just like hung on to that little bit of patriarchy in a sort of gynocentric dominated culture. I will say that. So of course they've done some part, but I don't think they've really been doing that extra push. The more traditionally like neoconservatives, I don't think we can thank them necessarily for what I seem to see as like a strong push in masculinity. But let's get into the next video I have for you guys from MHD. And let me fix this. Fat women realize the body positivity movement doesn't take men's dating preferences into account. Which obviously, this first chick certainly doesn't seem to be doing that.
Janice, are you there?
At your service, sir.
Give me some of that dating foolishness.
Will do, sir.
Yes, it's like it definitely triggered my body image issues in ways that I wasn't necessarily anticipating.
She's triggered.
To be out in the world dating men who have opinions about bodies. Yeah.
Fat women realize that the body positivity movement doesn't take male preference into account. Welcome to Managed by Highlights Daily. This is not a diss video. I repeat, this is not a diss video. I don't have problems with fat people, fat women in particular. More power to you if you embrace your fatness and feel comfortable and sexy in your fat body.
Today, I am 27 years old and I love my body. I love every place that my body has taken me. I love everything that my body sees and witnesses and experiences. How radical would it be if we just loved ourselves? That's what body liberation tells me.
Body liberation is taking.
You see what I'm saying? Like I said it earlier, this is very, very feminine. But like I also said, femininity is a fundamentally good thing. So, but I think in order for it to remain a good thing, it does have to be balanced with the contrary, like a masculine majority. All right, that's what I think. Complete femininity unchecked, I don't know about all that.
Essentially what belongs to me, my birthright, and that is to come home to my body and to trust her.
But this is about attraction, and attraction is not a choice. This video from the Tamron Hall show about body positivity touches on this, and it's pure gold. Let's talk about it. Now it's time for us to get into this and do what we gotta do.
Point was just simple.
for you?
Celibacy at that point was just simply a way to step back and grant myself some perspective.
So you needed the
right?
distraction.
I didn't need to rush into that version of intimacy. Like, I think one of the best things that we can grant ourselves is the power of pause.
Okay.
And in that moment, I just needed to sit with my own energy. Exactly.
I like that.
And connect with people on a deeper level. And most importantly, just like see the ways in which I might attempt to run away from myself into the arms of somebody else simply to not have to deal with my own stuff.
First off, fat women more than the average man, especially nowadays with social media and these dating apps. Just because they are fat and single doesn't mean they are without sex. My second point is, she's saying and she's doing nothing special, okay? The blueprint of filtering the good, the bad, and the ugly has been here for thousands of years. It's called common sense. Why do people go on dates? It's to get to know each other, right? You don't need to be an effing dating coach to understand that. The foolishness. Stop clapping. When these females spread their legs, you would think that these women would get essential intel before they let the man. But that's not how they operate. It's about the feel. Does it feel good? Now that she doesn't feel good, she turns to celibacy. Now she is looking for a deeper connection after racking up a body count higher than the predator.
Run! Get to the chopper!
Do you understand why marriage is a joke these days? It's because the gatekeepers of sex, which are women in case you didn't know, are choosing to without any form of commitment. That's the key word. They choose to do this. And it has become a coping mechanism. Bad news is this coping mechanism does more harm than good. Look at all of those videos of women crying in the car because they are lonely.
And I've honestly been feeling I'm gonna start crying. I am gonna start crying. I've been feeling super weird lately, like these past 2 days I've been like really emotional and I don't know why. I got off my period, so I'm like, it can't be that.
Sex is not a cure for loneliness. And these women are sleeping with the same dudes, Chads and Tyrones. I'm telling you, these guys do not discriminate. Where do you think these delusions come from? Chad and Tyrone play a role in this.
Chrissy, you were married from age 22 to 33.
Yes.
And before you amicably divorced. And you wrote in the book, one of the things I never anticipated was how much entering the dating scene at the age of 34 would trigger my body image issues. Yeah. So dating again triggered some of these old feelings.
Absolutely, because it's one thing to like come to this place where you like are just so at peace.
Guys, it's so simple. One of the things I never anticipated was how much entering the dating scene, you don't even need to do the age thing. So like it's irrelevant. This is a woman saying, I've entered the dating scene and I am now being exposed to what men want in their potential mate, and it's not me because of my obsession with liberating my body, when that's really not what men want. And I would say most women don't want. You know, they have this push of like, oh, we like the dad bods, but even the dad bods are just what, like a slight. It's like they're talking about Leonardo DiCaprio, his dad bod they like, not Joe Schmo's dad bod. They're really not that interested in his dad bod. They like a dad bod when it comes with a side of or an entree of status and fame, and well, it's the same thing. So, but again, she's just saying it triggered her body image issues. And it's simply because she's being exposed to a potential mate's expectations and preferences, and it appears to be it's not her. She is not living up to those expectations. And she doesn't like it, and it's triggering. It's triggering her unhealed wounds, as they'll put it. She needs to go and return back to her where she heals. She needs to go heal. She needs to go heal her trauma because she's being exposed to the male gaze.
these old feelings?
Absolutely, because it's one thing to like come to this place where you like are just so at peace and you love and you embrace the body that you're living in. But the reality is we live in a world that is incredibly fat phobic, right? And so there you're gonna come into contact with people who don't have those same values about bodies that you do, right? And so, yes, it's like it definitely triggers.
Look, man, when your own health disagrees with your ideology, I would say that's a really good thing to judge off, to go off of. So yeah, it's kind of like that alcoholic thing I was saying earlier. If you're an alcoholic, your blood pressure, chances are it's going to be a lot higher. Chances of stroke, heart attack, ischemia, these like a lack of blood flow to the heart, high cholesterol, plaque in the veins and the arteries. These things, this risk of this goes up by being an alcoholic. And so since we don't have a societal push of alcoholic positivity, we don't other people like the mainstream, the leftists and all these types of people, maybe not the mainstream, but a lot of people don't perceive alcoholics to be virtuous. And so, again, it's like if your body disagrees and reacts negatively, it's probably a good indicator that what you're doing and what you believe in should not be that. Like, you should stop doing it because your body disagrees and it's detrimental to your health. And so, again, it always goes back to, like, biology, these things that are natural between, like, our dating preferences, the way our bodies operate. It's not politically correct, and they want it to be, and it just never will be, which is why their ideas, the things that they believe in, they don't bind well with reality.
Body image issues in ways that I wasn't necessarily anticipating, to be out in the world dating men who have opinions about bodies.
Yeah.
Ha! This is pure gold. Yes, men have opinions. Who would have thought that men could have preferences? Who would have thought that the majority of men are not attracted to fat women? Who would have thought that it doesn't matter how positive you are about your body, men do not have to like it? The foolishness. This feminism and this woke culture does not teach women to respect men, to cater to men, and especially to recognize biology. They shove these body positivity movements and slut walks down our throats, not giving a shit if we like it or not. Because what do we know? We're just a bunch of men. Masculinity is toxic. So if men are not attracted to fat women or career women or wall-hitting cat ladies like Dr. Ramen Noodles, we must be intimidated by them. We must be insecure about ourselves. Do you understand now why they don't want us to talk? Why we get canceled?
Also, that brings this to my mind. What you'll notice with like modern women, or just I guess the ladies, what you'll notice with them is that on one hand they'll say that men are super intimidated by like career women, and then you'll also get them saying that men love career women. Like they like, no, that's not been my experience. My experience is that men love career women. Men love higher educated women. But then they'll also say that we're intimidated by them if we don't want to date them. But hold on, I thought you said that men do like it. And then when they don't like it, you say they're just intimidated. But they're supposed to like it. I don't get it. You say that men like career women. You say that men do care about a woman's education, but then you also say that they're intimidated. They can't handle it. Well, but I thought you said they like it. That doesn't make sense.
Our opinions hurt their feelings.
And so I think that was, again, this place of me coming back to myself and realizing, again, reinforcing what I know to believe to be true. And also remembering that I don't want to date anyone who really is just interested in how I look anyway.
Right.
And so if you're not,
absolutely,
right?
that's all you see.
That's all you see. Yeah.
Stop clapping, you fools. You see the hypocrisy? Let me remind you of a video we've made a long time ago about fat women. Check this out.
Long story short, yes, looks or attraction is important in a relationship, to completely rule that out is ridiculous, and I don't think it's wrong to think that, you know, attraction is important.
Of course, they're gonna be like, well, personality. No, sis. Their personality and their looks should be on point. You should be completely attracted. Like, it shouldn't be, well, they're kind of cute.
Sometimes I feel personally shallow when I'm dating somebody or I'm interested in somebody. I instantly notice the looks. I mean, I think it's very common that you're gonna notice somebody's looks first.
No, like, I refuse. I absolutely refuse. I am not about to marry no man that is kind of cute. Like, I have to really be attracted to you. And I feel like that's the insecurity in us. That's like, well, personality over looks, you know, the personality is what really matters. Yes, their personality matters, but I feel like...
Surely this lady is talking about her looks match. Right? Right?
Have to come hand in hand, you know?
So I matched with a guy who was very attractive.
Which also, her looks match would actually, if they were like, if we're looking at equal looks match, he actually would have a higher status of looks, have better looks, because women overall are better looking than men overall, I believe. So when a woman like this actually finds her looks match, actually, on a scale of male looks, he would be higher than her on the scale of female looks, if that makes sense.
And like my the guy I am attracted to is like tall, sort of muscly. He can be like fat, but like big. You know, I like big and muscles, and has a good smile and sparkly eyes, and like knows how to laugh and stuff.
Woo! You're getting your red pill vitamins this morning, this afternoon, or this evening. It doesn't matter what time zone, you're gonna get them. Fat women are not attracted to fat men either. Look at Lizzo. Women in general are only attracted to the top 10, top 20% of men, and they have the audacity to talk about what's important on the inside when it comes to them. Because it's always about them. And we are here to tell you guys that it's not all about them. It's okay to have standards. You don't have to apologize for not being attracted to fat women, masculine women, and the ones with a jacked up attitude. Be the first to let them know that you're willing to walk away from low quality women.
And what's the difference in the body positivity versus the liberation you want people to feel?
Absolutely. So I think body positivity is a term that like a lot of people are familiar with, and I think it's a great introduction to thinking about our bodies differently. But for me, body positivity a lot of the time focuses on like self-love and just love your body and all of those things that sound really nice but are really also hard in practice. But it's a great place to start. But I talk about liberation because liberation means freedom, right?
Yes,
and that's what we want. Yes.
Manosphere, we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.
Anyways, I thought that would be a good video to play after reviewing that clip, because he's exposed to it again and again. Just kind of women thinking they deserve more than they do, right? Fair enough. So, anyways, I'm gonna leave that video there. Hope you enjoyed it. Check out Manosphere Highlights Daily for good content, and then also if you enjoyed my video, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.